Now, tonight, an exclusive with the Houston Man, a former CBS Records head honcho who was James Mtume's boss at CBS Epic Records. And joining us tonight here on The Factor Uncensored is former executive vice president at Epic Records, T.C. Tompkins, a man who knew James Mtume and worked intimately with him at CBS Epic Records, and you had a significant role in us getting that 1983 hit, Juicy Fruit.
Yeah, absolutely. Matter of fact, I was in the studio with him when he came up with that beat, which is one of the most used beats in the world now. If you listen to any new music nowadays, man, that Juicy Fruit track is on everything. Missy Elliott, Alicia Keys, who else I've heard on it? Several artists have used that track, but he was working.
I think Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah, all of them use that Mtume's track. Mtume was in the studio down the street from where I used to live in New Jersey, working on a track. He hadn't had any success at Epic. He was a great songwriter and had a lot of success with a lot of other artists like Roberta Flack and Donny Hathaway. He wrote a lot of hits for them. Until Juicy Fruit, until that album, that was his first gold and platinum release.
And of course, he worked with the late, great Miles Davis as well,
Absolutely.
Right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Mtume was, matter of fact, he did all the music for this New York Undercover TV series that used to be on. He was the music director of that. He was, very professor-like musician. You know what I mean? He was a musician's musician, and just a great guy. Real. He was a militant, a black militant kind of guy. Because I remember when he used to come up to CBS all the time, he was always about enriching black people and doing something for the black community. He was just that kind of guy.
Did that ever cause problems for him down the road, TC, with being a militant?
It did be a little bit, yeah. Between me and you and your audience, he wasn't loved at Epic, but we wanted a hit on him because everybody knew his talent, you know. They wanted to do something with him. They just couldn't seem to get the right formula. And it just so happens that I loved him though, because he was just a real uplifting, fun guy. And he called me one night. He said, "Man, I think I got something here." He said, "Why don't you run by the studio?" And at the time, he was working in a studio, I think either Patterson, New Jersey, or somewhere close around where I live. So I drove over to the studio and I heard that beat that ended up being Juicy Fruit. And I said, "Oh yeah, that's it, man. That is it." And he brought me the finished product about a week or so later, and the rest is history. It was a big
and it was a #1 record.
Yeah, big record. Yeah.
With legs that's endured the test of time.
As they say. Yeah. Yeah, matter of fact, I'm just saying, you might as well just put me on permanently on Isaiah Factor, because they're the musicians, man. You know, I own the 80s. I'm not going to tell you anything that came out during the 80s. I had it. It was mine.
I mean, look, if you had Luther Vandross, Michael Jackson, Boy George, you owned it. And of course, those were your artists at Epic CBS Records.
Teddy Pendergrass, OJ's, Patti LaBelle, and the list goes on and on, man. We were just we had a phenomenal role going on during that time. Matter of fact, I talked to the former vice president of marketing over there, because I'm writing a book, I'm finally writing that book, and was getting a letter from him. And he noted that was the highest revenue that Epic has ever had in the history of the label, was the years that we were there.
Incredible. TC Tompkins, always good to have you, and to see you here, a legend on The Factor Uncensored.
Always nice to talk to you, Isaiah. You know you're one of my favorite people.
All righty, sir. You have a good one.